Thanks for coming out to the game this evening. Now let's meet our starting lineups for both teams. First for the visitors from VSLT. Number 2, Shady 2. Number 3, Pedro Matias Diaz Galeno. Number 4, Oscar Sendejas. Number 8, Franco Pretel. Number 14, Mauricio Mendoza. Number 17, Kapa 2. Number 22, Zuhir Alabasi. Number 23, Alejandro Cariti. Number 24, Sekiro Kareem. Number 27, Juan Fizz. And keeper for VSLT, Abraham Kiyuda. And now, let's meet the starters for your Med City FC Mayhem. Number 4, Nicholas Idopoulos. Number 5, Andrew Wilkinson. Number 8, Alan Shembri Wismeyer. Number 12, Francisco Neto. Number 15, Alvaro Adam. Number 20, Nicholas Raisler. Number 21, Matu Pazos. Number 22, Nacho Garrido. Number 23, Finlay Bloodworth. Number 30, Claudio Rapetto. And keeper for the Mayhem, number 1, Nate Levy. Med City FC's head coach is Neil Cassidy. Assistant coaches are Mitch Amundsen, Frank Spaeth, and Isra Perez. The officials for tonight's game are Michael Johnson, Victor DeMarilis, Cody White, and Alexander Dulson. And now for the singing of our national anthem. Tonight, Isabel Hufek will be performing. Isabel is a 7th grader at St. Francis, and she loves to sing. She also plays soccer, basketball, softball, and runs cross country. Please rise and take it away, Isabel.
Over the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly strong. In the rocket's bright glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Isabel. And a special thanks to the players serving as ball kids for the players tonight. We're giving all area youth clubs the chance to have players and teams participate as mascots and ball kids this season. For more info, please contact Med City FC. And now, let's play soccer! Good evening and welcome to the Rochester Regional Stadium for tonight's matchup between Med City and VSLT. Should be an important matchup nonetheless, as Med City looks to come back from their loss earlier this season, a 1-0 loss to VSLT, and try to work their way up the standings. Right now, they are in 4th with 15 points. VSLT 2nd in the NPSL Midwest Region North Conference Division And VSLT has 19 points. They're tied with Duluth FC, who Med City also tied recently. And then it's Minneapolis City SC with 24 points, almost running away from the competition right now at 7 wins, 0 losses, and 3 ties. So a giant matchup here tonight as both of these squads running out of chances to earn points. 3 points would obviously be huge for Med City tonight. And for VSLT, they've only played 9 matches. The rest of the conference that is at least in contention has played 10. And so that 19 number, a little bit deceiving for VSLT. With a win tonight or even a draw, they would be in sole possession of second place, which of course top 2 make it to the playoffs. And so we are underway. It is VSLT in the blue and black, going from right to left on your screen. Med City wearing the white uniforms this evening. It was a warm day in Rochester today, close to 80 most of the afternoon, and then all of a sudden there was a torrential downpour here in Rochester, so they are playing with some wet conditions. That rain fell at about 6 o'clock and lasted all of maybe 20 minutes, if that. Long enough to make the playing surface awfully wet. But we're all dry now. We may have another threat of rain as this match progresses. But for now, we're in good shape. So Med City with possession, 1 minute in. Sending it down the field. Looking for Finlay Bloodworth, who got some recognition this week as well. The NPSL does their coaches pick of the top 11 players from the week for all over the field, and Bloodworth was named to that team this week. As VSLT, again, a 1-0 victory over Med City earlier this season. It was the 3rd match of the year as we have a collision and a foul called on VSLT. Med City will take over 90 seconds in.
We want to take a moment to thank one of our great sponsors for today's game, Subaru of Rochester. Subaru of Rochester is your place for service as well as new and quality pre-owned vehicles. Stop in today and experience the upfront pricing and stress-free buying experience that we are committed to. Subaru of Rochester. Love what you drive.
Med City sending it in right in front of the net, and a tough play, but a catch by Abraham Kuyata. So Kuyata getting tested a little bit earlier than he may have thought, and actually appears as though we have the wrong number there. It's actually Alejandro Cariti that is the goalkeeper. Apparently they have different jersey numbers when they're warming up. So that's what happens when they don't give the PA guy their rosters until less than an hour beforehand. Mistakes get made. Anyway, Med City charging in. Shot from the left side goes wide right. And 3 minutes in, Med City at least with a couple chances early on, albeit no giant threats just yet. Hoping for a good turnout tonight, especially if these fans in attendance are starting to get some World Cup fever. Some great action today. We spent a little time up here in the booth talking about that matchup between Germany and Sweden, where Germany absolutely stole that match in the 95th minute, getting a goal and a free kick while being down 1 player after a red card was assessed. But it's been some fantastic action out in Russia, and thankfully because of the time differential, no conflict of interest tonight for fans to come out and see Med City play live, as that was our last match of the World Cup schedule today, and that ended about 4 hours ago. Nacho Garrido passes forward. Matu Pazos looking ahead on the left side. Claudio Repetto is in the area. Alan Shembri Wismeyer gets a foot on it. It's his first action here at home as Repetto, the header, just wide left. Repetto, the leading goal scorer for Med City this season, getting active right away, 4 minutes in. Still no score.
Thrivent Financial is a financial services organization that helps Christians be wise with money and live generously. For more than a century, we've helped our more than 2 million member owners make wise money choices that reflect their values, and we provide opportunities for them to be even more generous where they live, work, and worship. Call me, Nick Johnson, the voice of the Mayhem, at 507-226-5275 for a free consultation.
So about 5 minutes in now, as the sun starts to cascade back down in the field, Nicholas Raisler passes back to Andrew Wilkinson, and now Nicholas Idapoulos on the far side. Med City looking for some space here. And working on the far side, nice pass up ahead to Francisco Neto, who stays on side, and it's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by VSLT, corner kick upcoming.
This corner kick is brought to you by $5 Pizza. Each time the Mayhem score on a corner kick in 2018, 10 lucky winners will receive a free pizza. Sign up for your chance to win as you enter the stadium.
Well, no free pizza on that attempt, as a nice play was made there by Alejandro Caridi, tapping that one away. And back the other way comes VSLT. So far, they haven't spent much time on the Med City end of the field, as Nate Levy gets it and sends it forward. Sawbones Army already got the drum beat going here. As VSLT Mauricio Mendoza tries to send that one across midfield. A little bit of a battle at midfield there. Alvaro Adan dealing with a couple midfielders from VSLT. And Wilkinson passes it back to Levy, who will pick it up and direct some traffic. Still directing. He's got a big leg, so he's saying, go ahead, I'm going to let it rip. And he drop kicks it well past midfield, but it goes out of bounds. So VSLT will take over. Little stoppage in action here as Shady 2 gets ready to send it in. Last few minutes have been in this neutral area here as VSLT looks for their first charge. Sekiro Kareem sends it forward, well left of the net, out of bounds, and so goal kick upcoming for Med City.
Austin Aeroflight is a proud sponsor of Med City FC, offering everything from airplane rides and flight training to aircraft maintenance, storage, and refueling services. Austin Aeroflight is your one-stop shop for all your flying and aircraft needs. And one lucky fan will be winning a flight for themselves and 2 friends this season. Be sure to sign up for your chance to win at the registration table by the entrance. Check us out at AustinAeroflight.com or call us at 507-433-1813.
About 8.5 minutes in, Med City certainly looking more aggressive, at least off the kickoff here. As Levy sends it back in towards Wilkinson. And kind of the story of Med City's season, they got off to a slow start, dug themselves a bit of a hole in terms of the standings, and now find themselves in a position where they need to earn all 3 points if they can. Goal differential doesn't look bad for the Mayhem. They're +3 in the season. For some context, Duluth, who's ahead of them, Or sorry, they're +7. Duluth is +12. VSLT +9. So by beating VSLT and perhaps doing so by a couple goals tonight, Med City can really help their position in the standings. But the flip side of that coin is you lose by 2 or 3 and suddenly playoffs start to look impossible. Approaching the 10-minute mark here as Med City tries to keep it in VSLT territory. Abraham Kuyata looking for a foul there, not going to get it. Last touch out of bounds by VSLT. So the Mayhem will send it in. Another nice play there by Finlay Bloodworth, keeping possession with Med City. And now a deflection forward by Zuhir Alabasi. Here comes VSLT, and stumbling is Kapow too. Had some room to work with, but a nice job there by Med City getting back defensively. Franco Pretel getting caught in a couple suspect areas there. Also, I'm seeing a number 6 in the field, and I don't have a number 6 on my roster. So we'll try and work on that for you, too. Sebastian Lorenzo Pineda Gordillo, not listed, as that shot is deflected and knocked away by Nate Levy, his first test of the evening. So I was looking down at a roster, trying to find a player for VSLT. Nate Levy out there doing his job. Corner kick upcoming, though, for VSLT. Kapow 2 will send it in. Two sending it in to the sound of the vuvuzela, and Wilkinson touching it, but it had already crossed out of bounds, and so Med City will take over here.
U.S. Bank works hard to support their customers and our community. They are pleased to champion athletic programs that enrich the quality of life for everyone. You can count on U.S. Bank to serve you and to cheer on the spirit of teamwork from the start of the game to the final whistle. U.S. Bank is helping businesses grow, families thrive, and communities succeed here in Rochester and all across the country.
Twelve and a half minutes gone here in the first half. No score between VSLT and Med City. So far, time of possession pretty equal as they send it forward. Nice pass up ahead. Alan Shembry-Wismeyer had some room, but Alejandro Caridi came out and greeted him and sent that one into the stands. Med City inbounds it quickly. Garrido with it near midfield. Now Matu Pazos, guarded tightly by Franco Pretel. Sends it forward, headed out by Pedro Galliano. And a nice pass up ahead and a header. And a lot of contact there. Sakiru Kareem got tied up with Andrew Wilkinson, fell to his knees, and then looked up at the officials, begging for a foul, didn't get it. And we're back at midfield now. 13:45 gone here in the first half. And so far it has been Kareem for VSLT, kind of pushing the envelope. Trying to bust behind that Med City defense. Wilkinson and Ida Paulos have started the bulk of the matches this season for Med City. And both are very good about not getting lulled to sleep back there and being ready when the opportunities come to them. Pass up ahead intended for Repetto is cut off. I got to look him up again by Sebastian Gordillo. And some more contact again, but a good showing of sportsmanship as Wilkinson got tied up with Pretel there. Ball out of bounds, 15 minutes gone here in half number 1.
Every sponsor is vital to the success of Med City FC. We'd like to recognize our 2018 player-level sponsors for their support. Collins Orthodontic, Old Abe Coffee Company, Two Legendary Sports Incorporated, and Northgate Imports.
Walking it in is Mauricio Mendoza. And he is cut off by Nicholas Raisler. Last touch out of bounds by VSLT. Repetto receiving the pass as Med City tries to get it back across midfield. Both teams, again, a lot of time at midfield here in the early going. Med City had a couple pushes there in the first few minutes, but about the last 10, they've been around the 50-yard line. And out of bounds, last touch by Med City. It was a 1-0 match the first time these two teams met, and so expect defense as the bagpipes start to come in from the Sawbones Army.
The Sawbones Army was founded in March 2017 as a group of local individuals who are passionate about supporting Met City FC and continuing to grow our love of the beautiful game in Rochester. The purpose of the group is to create a rooting section for the club, complete with drumming, flags, scarves, bagpipes, chanting, and cheering. The group will also collaborate with other local supporters groups such as the American Outlaws to create soccer-related events and activities all year round. Check out the Sawbones Army on Facebook at Med City FC Supporters Group and join the mayhem.
"17 minutes have passed, and now the sun has dropped behind some clouds. A threat of rain still lingering over Rochester here. The second to last home match of the season for Med City. They'll be back here again next Saturday, as that shot nearly comes up here into the press box. They get it in quickly. Sakiru Kareem once again leading the charge, but sending that one well above Nate Levy's head. But I mentioned for Med City, just doing the math here, they have 3 more total matches on the season. They head up to Duluth for their season finale July 6th, but play here at home against the Dakota Fusion next Saturday. That is a must-win, and obviously LC Aris on Wednesday is a must-win, as Aris hasn't won in league play. I'm not sure if they ever have, but to our knowledge in this booth, they haven't, at least as long as Med City's been around, which is only 2 years. So we'll keep our history to that far. But for Med City, if they can somehow come away with 3 points in all 4 of those matches, that would get them to 27 on the season, which last year would have been good enough for a playoff spot. Again, VSLT sits at 19. Minneapolis City has started to separate themselves from the pack at 24 points. But it's doable with the schedule that sits in front of Med City here. A Duluth matchup at the end of the year might end up being a playoff game of sorts if both teams are up in that position. But first things first, Med City needs to take care of business here tonight against VSLT. A draw wouldn't be bad, but a win would really be big for the Mayhem. Told that LC Aris has 3 wins in 9 years, so if any Aris fans are watching, we're not trying to pick on you. Just trying to figure out the mathematical probabilities of Med City making a playoff run, and a win over Aris, and doing so with a nice hefty goal differential as well would certainly help the cause. We've crossed the 20-minute mark here in the first half, and it's been a while since our last scoring chance. Nate Levy made a nice stop at about the 10-minute mark. But since then, it's been a bit of a defensive struggle here. As Raisler sends that one far side. And now Shady 2 up the near side. Cut off momentarily by Finlay Bloodworth. Kareem picks it up, goes into the left corner. Trying to find somewhere to go with it. 2 is there. 2 backing it out, looking for Mendoza. A little too deep. And now Oscarson Dejas reverses course. Zahir Alabasi looking for a snipe, but that one too high, out of bounds. Med City will take over possession.
Other 2018 player-level sponsors that we'd like to thank for their support: Little Thistle Brewing Company, Sports Headquarters, MEP Associates LLC, Nupa Mediterranean Cuisine.
Back at midfield, some pushing and shoving over on the sideline. And the officials are saying it's going to be VSLT possession. A little slower pace to this match than what we've seen from Med City most of this season. And you wonder if that's deliberate, or if perhaps the Mayhem coming out a little flat, or if that's what VSLT tempo they like to play. Just looking at the stats here, VSLT has scored 17 goals in the season and had 8 against. Med City is 17-10, and so again, 2 teams close in the standings and close in terms of the statistics as well. As Wilkinson passes it forward and now has to retreat and pass it back to Nate Levy, well out of the net. The Mayhem looking a little sloppy here at times in this first half. As Claudio Repetto gives back to Nacho Garrido. And Matupazos has it taken away by Sebastian Gordillo. Out of bounds, last touch by VSLT. Med City quickly sends it in. And some disagreement over who the last touch was there. Med City thought they were going to be the ones inbounding, but instead it's VSLT. But we're still at midfield. Feels like we've been there most of this first half as we reach the 24-minute mark. And now the officials come over for a word. I think that's Nacho Garrido over on the far side. Never one to shy away from trying to get under the skin of his opponent. And it's Garrido who takes a cleat to the midsection, and tempers are starting to flare. And there is going to be a red card assessed to VSLT, and that is maybe the spark that Med City needs. On the flip side, Nacho Garrido is still laying on the turf in a pile. Our trainers still haven't found their way out to the field yet. But nobody waving them on just yet either. Now here they come. So Garrido takes one for the team in a very literal sense. As we take a quick break, 25 minutes gone here in the first half. Red card issued to VSLT.
Red card issued to VSLT, number 17, Kapow 2. Global Sports Experience Network will be offering its 2018 Destination Barcelona Youth Soccer Camp on August 6th. Join former Barcelona FC and Spanish La Liga professional players and camp coaches for specialized instruction the Barcelona way. For more information about the camp and to learn how to participate, be sure to visit www.gscnusa.com. The first 40 players to register will be entered into a drawing to win a Barcelona jersey signed by Lionel Messi.
So Med City will have a one-man advantage. They're hoping for the remainder of this match if everyone can keep their tempers in check. An absolute huge advantage this early in the match. 25-minute mark is when that happened. Nacho Garrido, by the way, is up and running again. And here they come. Francisco Neto trying to push it in, and it's picked up by Alejandro Caridi. Back the other way comes VSLT, and a nice job of closing off the momentum there by Alvaro Adan. So as is the case sometimes, our biggest moment had nothing to do with a scoring chance or a big save or anything like that. It's a red card at midfield. Assessed to Kapow 2. One of the starting midfielders for VSLT. Will now play down a man for the remainder of the match. I know I already mentioned it, but of course Germany got their game-winning goal down a man as well, and so Med City, no guarantees here just by having an extra player out on the field. But with this much time to go, I mean, you're talking 60 minutes and change for Med City to work with a man advantage. They need to be able to capitalize now and come away with 3 points tonight. Nice pass up ahead. Finlay Bloodworth down in the corner trying to maintain it. Centering gets sent to the turf. No whistle. And VSLT there to end the charge. Alejandro Caridi, the goalkeeper, will send it in.
Carpet Booth Studios is Rochester's premier recording and production studio for any of your music and audio needs. High-quality gear, treated spaces, trained engineers, and a warm atmosphere allow for any project to reach its full potential. Visit www.carpetbooth.com today for more information and to book a session.
Looking at the body language here of VSLT, over on the far side, that was Mauricio Mendoza charging in, and then after having it taken away, he just gave up. And you can see a lot of slumped shoulders out there right now for VSLT. They got to pick themselves up here. Tough to play down a man, but it's even worse if you let it get to you the way they apparently, or by appearances, they look pretty dejected right now, and so far it's still a tie game. Repetto gets a nice pass up ahead. Can't quite track it down, though, as Caridi comes out to get it. So Med City looking to be aggressive. I think Repetto wanted to make sure he didn't go offside there. Still haven't had an offside call, to my memory anyway, in this match. As we've spent a lot of time, as I've mentioned, around midfield. Also where the red card occurred at the 25-minute mark. Gordillo with it at midfield. And Repetto cutting off that pass. Raisler keeps it with Med City. Nice pass ahead by Garrido. And now they're looking for Shembri Wismeyer on the far side. Wismeyer getting some push from behind. Hits the deck, no whistle. They call it clean. Oscar Sendejas, they're providing the defense, but now Mid City taking it right back, and a sniper shot. I think that was Garrido. Either way, it got stopped by Alejandro Caridi. Caridi has made a couple nice plays so far in this first half. Not necessarily any tough saves, but definitely being in the right position on plays like that. As it down, sends that one forward, but out of bounds. VSLT will inbound.
Soccer World is a proud sponsor of Med City FC, offering youth and adult leagues, classes for kids of all ages, and space rental for birthday parties or other special occasions. Soccer World offers the ideal place for indoor soccer in Rochester. Check out their website at www.soccerworldmn.com or call them at 507-424-3018. Soccer World is also forming adult outdoor leagues for the 2018 summer season. Sign up to join today.
32.5 minutes gone here in half number one. No score, but Med City with a man advantage here. Inbounding near midfield. It's been a slower tempo match than what we're used to seeing out of Med City. And we'll see if they try to pick up the aggressiveness here late in the first half or maybe after halftime. And they can go to their deep bench. You would think substitutions would be vital for VSLT as well. Playing down a man is a nice play there by Alan Shembri Wismeyer. Force the turnover. Raisler cutting through a couple defenders, has a man on the left side, gives it to him. Francisco Neto centering it, and Repetto sent that one just above the crossbar, but the best scoring chance thus far for Med City goes begging at 33.5 minutes here in the first half. So a goal kick upcoming here, Alejandro Caridi. Kicking it to the sound of the Vuvuzelas from the Sawbones Army. VSLT maintaining possession, working it forward. Sakiru Kareem will now send it in. And Idapaulos is there to cut it off. Nice header by Wilkinson. Up ahead to Finlay Bloodworth. And now Raisler, the left-footed pass. And to Shembri Wismeyer. Bloodworth working it in, has some space, and now can center it. Does so, and a nice defensive play there by Sebastian Gordillo. And now Wilkinson fans on it and has to retreat. So in the 10 minutes that Med City has played with the man advantage, they've had a couple chances. But VSLT's defense has been up to the task, at least thus far. Up ahead looking for Bloodworth. Can't win the jump ball. And now a push called on Raisler. So possession will go to VSLT. Eat healthy on the go. Quick Trip makes it easy with fresh daily salads and sandwiches, healthy yogurts and cheeses, wonderful fruit cups, and an assortment of fresh fruits and vegetables. Fresh is the best, and Quick Trip is making it fresh for you. "36 minutes gone here in the first half. No score between Med City and VSLT. As Raisler gets tied up on the near side with Mauricio Mendoza. Bloodworth inbounding it. Walking it up the near side. And not out of bounds. Franco Pretel. Raisler thought he stepped out. Or thought the ball went out, rather. And right now, Sebastian Gordillo kind of by himself as Francisco Neto gave chase. Couldn't steal it away. Matupazos does. Passing ahead to Garrido. Med City trying to find some space here. Shembri Wismeyer had a little room to work, but cut off quickly by this VSLT defense. And now we've got a yellow card coming to Mauricio Mendoza for the takedown on Finlay Bloodworth.
Yellow card issued to VSLT number 14, Mauricio Mendoza.
Nicholas Itapaulos dribbles it forward for Med City. And I'm sure they want to attack Mauricio Mendoza now and give him that second yellow card and see if we can go 11-on-9 for a little while. If a one-man advantage is nice, two-man advantage is twice as nice. 38 minutes gone here in half number one. Alejandro Caridi walks it up as VSLT catches their breath here. 7 minutes and change. The stoppage time left to go. Here in this first half, a nice night here in Rochester. Unless you were here during the 15 to 20 minute downpour about an hour before our match began. So they are playing on a bit of a wet surface, which may have led to the tempo and speed you're seeing tonight. Not quite as quick and sharp as we've seen other nights out of Med City. But a wet surface, especially on this sprint turf. It's not natural grass that they're playing on, and I'm not sure if that helps or hurts. I guess you'd have to ask the players out on the field for their opinions on it. It's supposed to be better for moisture in a slick environment, but if you're used to practicing and playing on grass, and even when it's wet and things get muddy, versus this, sometimes it can seem unnatural, and there's a little more hesitation in the step on players for both sides. Shembri Wismeyer up ahead, and now that should be out of bounds. They do call it. There was a diving save there by Alejandro Caridi to try and prevent the corner kick for Med City, but he clearly hugged it on the line, and so a corner kick coming for Francisco Neto.
Another corner kick brought to you by $5 Pizza.
Neto gets ready to send it in and try to get some free pizzas for these fans. Up high, cleared out by Gordillo. And sent in by Garrido. Headed back in. Pedro Galliano clears it. And now up ahead, it's Mauricio Mendoza. Has to be careful, he's playing with that yellow card. Nice defensive play there by Alvaro Adan.
That excellent defensive play brought to you by Subaru of Rochester. Defend your vehicle against wear and tear by stopping in for any preventative service or maintenance. Expert technicians, friendly service. Subaru of Rochester, love what you drive. Another corner kick brought to you by $5 Pizza.
So Francisco Neto lines up again here at the 41-minute mark. He's pretty good at putting it wherever he wants, and this time he goes a little bit more shallow, and a nice catch there by Alejandro Caridi. I think Neto was hoping for a rebound or cutting it shallow and hoping that in the traffic and all the mess of bodies that maybe they could steal one there. As Med City gets it back, Raisler backs it out to Repetto. Can't tell if that was offside or a handball. We're going to make the assumption of handball up here. But at any rate, it's VSLT ball. 42 minutes gone here in the first half. Okay. And the officials, again, having to separate a couple players here. It's been a chippy match. Inbound comes from Shady 2. Tipped up ahead. Shembri Wismeyer tries to get it across midfield. Can't do it there. And now Franco Pretel. Up ahead, Alvaro Adan cutting it off again. Another nice defensive play by him. But now he gives it right back. VSLT up the far side. Idapaulos there to give chase. Cuts off the passing lane out of bounds, but a corner kick will be upcoming for VSLT. The bagpipes start to come in here as VSLT lines up this corner. And they almost need to take advantage of one of these if they're going to have any shot of winning this match tonight. That was a pretty close call as Andrew Wilkinson clears that one with the header. And now up ahead, an attempt, at least for the moment. Oscar Sendejas was in the area. Nate Levy dove to stop it, and again, the officials needing to separate these guys. And Sendejas maybe is going to get a yellow. He does. And he claps about it. VSLT awfully ornery here tonight.
Yellow card issued to number 4 for VSLT, Oscar Sendejas.
Well, if you're scoring at home, that's 2 yellows and a red thus far for VSLT. Med City playing with the man advantage as we approach stoppage time here. But here we are at 45 minutes. We don't know the stoppage time yet. We'll let you know as soon as we do if we are able to find out. Our Med City staff a little short-handed this evening, but we're making do. As Bloodworth sent that one towards the middle. And now a whistle on Med City. And a yellow card on Med City. I think that one's going to go on Bloodworth. So VSLT working on the far side. Kareem trying to get some space. Gets through a couple defenders, now up ahead. There was a yellow card issued just now too, by the way, to Med City. Didn't catch the number up here. As that one gets sent in above the crossbar, I think that was Francisco Neto. It was sending that one in just a bit high. So 2 minutes into stoppage time. We don't know how many minutes of stoppage time we're going to have, but good crowd here tonight. As they filed in, they continue to file in actually. As this community has really done a nice job of supporting the Med City Football Club in its second year of existence. Perhaps time for one more push here. Our longest stoppage in play was that red card at about the 25-minute mark. And actually, we're going to have 3 minutes of stoppage time, so we're already approaching the tail end of that.
The yellow card issued a few moments ago to Med City was on number 23, Finlay Bloodworth. And that's the end of the first half. 574-2555 in Winona. Grand Rounds Brewing Company and Restaurant is the official restaurant sponsor of Med City FC. Join your fellow Mayhem fans before the game for a bite to eat and to prepare for the game, or come out to Grand Rounds with the team after the game to celebrate their victory. Grand Rounds will also be live streaming Med City FC's away matches, so be sure to come down and watch the Mayhem with us even when they're not in town. Mayo Clinic sports medicine experts help athletes to optimize performance, minimize risk, and recover from injuries. Mayo Clinic Sports Medicine is proud to be the official medical and performance provider for Med City FC. Meet your goals by visiting sportsmedicine.mayoclinic.org.
Welcome back as we get ready to start the second half of action here between VSLT and Med City. The important stats from the first half are really just how many cards were handed out in that first half. The main one being at the 25-minute mark, Kappa 2 got the red card, and so VSLT has been playing with a one-man disadvantage ever since. After that, Mauricio Mendoza received a yellow card. Oscar Sendejas got one towards the tail end of the first half, and then Med City was starting to feel left out, and so Finlay Bloodworth picked up a yellow card in stoppage time in that first half. But still no score. Med City had a few chances in that first half, as did VSLT. I knew I was going to mix up those letters at one point tonight. Nate Levy made one terrific save in that first half at about the 10-minute mark. And there was a corner kick that got a little scary there for Med City's hopes, but a big matchup tonight. We talked about the playoff implications of this with 4 matches left this season, including tonight. Med City basically needs to, wants to, and maybe even has the possibility of running the table in order to punch their playoff ticket. But it all starts tonight with a win and 3 points against VSLT. About a minute and a half into this second half, and so far VSLT has been on the Med City side since these two teams came out of the locker room. It's Shady 2 over on the far side, working against a couple Med City defenders. And a strike from up top is received by Nate Levy. And he'll send it right back over to that end of the field. Wilkinson ahead to Raisler. To Pazos. Has it taken away by Sekiru Kareem. Now VSLT trying to work it in the middle of the field. Usually when a team is at a disadvantage, they want to keep things out on the edges. And so we'll see if that becomes the strategy here for VSLT. They survived that first half playing 20-plus minutes down a man without giving up a goal and had some time to make adjustments at halftime. And we'll see how much both of these rosters end up going to their bench here in half number 2. The rain is held off. I'm assuming the field has gotten a little bit more dry from when we started things, as 3 minutes have passed here in this second half. And we're back at midfield.
Every sponsor is vital to the success of Med City FC. We'd like to recognize our 2018 player-level sponsors for their support. Fellowship of Christian Athletes, the Rochester Post-Bulletin, Laser 101.7 and K-Fan, and Mira Digital Signage Solutions.
Matu Pazos was walking it in here on the near side and had it taken away. As Med City works it around the perimeter. Now lofts one up ahead. Repetto there for the jump ball. but a couple defenders in his wake. And back the other way comes VSLT. Abraham Kuyata works it ahead. And a nice play there at midfield. That was Shemley Wismeyer trying to keep possession for Med City, but unable to matriculate it forward much further than those two defenders. Time of possession should definitely favor Med City at this point. We don't have the stats because we're playing a man short up here in the booth, but they've had their chances, they've had possession, now they just need to find the back of the net. Repetto, far side, makes a deke, then takes a shot, wide right, out of bounds, but it did deflect off a member of VSLT, and so a corner kick is upcoming here for the Mayhem.
Another corner kick brought to you by $5 Pizza.
Francisco Neto lining it up and getting it right out towards the top of the box, and a nice header there. Med City trying to keep it in range. As Raisler up ahead, Repetto tries to pass it across, nobody home. And now Adan with it with space, left-footed attempt, goes wide, but just creeps along the back line, out of bounds. And so VSLT will take over. Well, as this second half wears on and VSLT continues to play down one man, plus a couple guys out there with yellows that need to play a little more cautious than I'm sure they're used to, you wonder what type of opportunities Med City will find itself with. And now a mistake there by VSLT as they booted it out of bounds, and so Med City deep in VSLT territory. Pass up ahead looking for Repetto is cleared away by the VSLT defense. And Med City will reverse course. Kareem near side, couple defenders there, and Med City gets whistled as Pazos and Adan tripped him up.
Don't rush off after the game. Hang around and meet the team. Med City FC players will be signing autographs after the game, so be sure to get your programs or gear signed. And after the autograph session, come hang out with the team at Grand Rounds.
Seven and a half minutes gone here in half number two. Still no score between Med City and VSLT. We've already seen one 0-0 draw this year between Med City and Duluth. So the fans in attendance hungry for a goal here by the home team. As the drums play from Sawbones Army. Pazos up ahead, nice pass to Adan. Adan back to Neto. And Adan trying to center it, and they call him offside. And both Repetto and Pazos don't like that call. That's our first offside call of the half. And I don't know, tough to know from the angle up here, but certainly didn't look like he was over the line. But it doesn't matter what we think. It matters what the guys in lime green think. 9 minutes gone here in half number two. Ball inbounded by Zahir Alapazi. And now Neto touches it out of bounds. A couple players over on the sideline for Med City warming up. Ayo Adebayo getting loose over on the sideline for Med City. Maybe it's an indication. Maybe he just wants to get loose. It's kind of a cooler night now. Warm all day, but after that rain, things cooled off. Fans in attendance are pretty comfortable here. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Med City not playing with much of a sense of urgency here to open the second half. As Raisler gives way to Garrido. They've had room over here on this near side with Alvaro Adan. And Adan still standing over here waiting for his chance. He thought he'd get a pass there from Shembri Wismeyer. It never came. They try to send it in on the right side. Staying patient is Med City. Pazos, midfield, backing it out. A little game of keep away here. And there Pazos was looking for Adan. And it's VSLT able to keep it in bounds. And Adan gets whistled. And he's going to get the yellow card. So the officials not wanting any more chippiness in this matchup. And Adan inadvertently runs into a player for VSLT and gets a yellow card.
Yellow card issued to number 15 for Med City, Alvaro Adan.
Well, no score, but plenty of cards issued here tonight. 2 yellows on both sides and a red for VSLT. Shembri Wismeyer dealing with some contact, couldn't get it forward. Now it's Matu Pazos near side. Little space to work. It's Adan streaking up his left side. Pazos sends it to the middle. Raisler, left-footed pass looking for Adan, out of bounds. He's there to quickly inbound or to take his time. Sends it back to Garrido, and Garrido stepping it in. Nice pass up ahead. Neto tries to center it for Repetto. Little too strong. So another chance anyway for Med City. They don't come away with anything. And Alejandro Caridi gets ready to boot it away instead. Gives way to one of his defensemen. Kept in by Itapaulos.
Are you the coach or parent of a youth or high school soccer player? If so, then you'll want to be sure to register for a chance to have their team win a complimentary Train Like the Soccer Pro session at Mayo Clinic Sports Medicine with the Exos experts. Exos has supported professional athletes ranging from MLS and World Cup champions to Olympians to All-Stars and MVPs. Maybe your team will have the chance to train just like they have. Enter today by visiting the Med City FC website at www.medcityfc.com for your chance at a free Train Like the Soccer Pro session.
questionable offsides called on Med City on that last push as we cross the 59-minute mark in this match and still have no score. Near side, Adon has it poked away by Kareem. And getting tied up is Adon and Mendoza, both playing with a yellow card, so they need to be careful. Make sure not to have any extracurriculars when those types of things happen. Pass ahead, Kuyata. Back to Pertel. Now at the far side, Shady 2. Tries to send it in. Wilkinson there to deflect it away. And now Shembry Wismeyer. Up ahead, Francisco Neto. Full head of steam up that right side. Passes ahead. Shot by Wismeyer, and it just goes wide left. Oh my goodness. Alan Shembry Wismeyer was right in position and able to get a foot on it, and it just slowly trickled past that left post. So it's 61 minutes. We still have no score.
Substitution for VSLT, number 33, Boris Zaraguru. In for number 4, Oscar Sendejas.
So VSLT taking a little bit of a breather here as they make another substitution, in Med City getting after them about the pace of play here in making their substitutions. But VSLT playing down a man, they're going to try and do everything they can to even the tables.
Substitution for VSLT, number 19, Mark Boquin. In for number 14, Mauricio Mendoza.
So our pace has slowed down to a crawl here the last couple minutes with these substitutions for VSLT. And a goal kick upcoming for Alejandro Caridi. VSLT has barely sniffed the Med City side of the field here in this second half. But they can probably afford to come away with a draw here tonight. Med City needs all 3 points. We've laid out the scenarios. And a nice cutoff there. Matupazos dances through a couple defenders, but then has it tipped away. Kuyata getting it across midfield. And now Patel reversing it towards the middle. Boris Saraguru takes a shot from distance. It bends way left, out of bounds, and so Med City will take over once again. We have 20 minutes gone here in half number 2.
We'd like to recognize our 2018 player-level sponsors for their support: Futsal Collective, Med City Escape, Palestra Soccer Academy, and Racam Developments Incorporated, and Hy-Vee.
Centering pass there by Francisco Neto gets deflected away. Med City still has it deep in VSLT territory. At least they did. And they're just waiting to sneak a rebound in or connect on one of these centering passes. This might be the chance as Neto tipped it, and then it was cleared away by Caridi. Neto didn't quite handle the pass cleanly. I think it came up on him sooner than he expected. But Med City here still with a chance. Adon putting it up high, blocked away. Nobody there for the rebound. Bloodworth was in the area, out of bounds. It stays with Med City. Well, this crowd will definitely erupt if Med City can find the back of the net. They've had their chances, and each one more promising than the last. But yet the scoreboard still reads the same.
Another corner kick brought to you by $5 Pizza.
So Francisco Neto getting ready to line up the corner kick after a couple close calls here. Sending it in. A lot of traffic. Repetto got a head on it, but it went right into the waiting arms of Alejandro Caridi. Caridi has stonewalled Med City here these last few minutes, and we are still knotted up 0-0. Sakura Kareem trying to get it across. Zaraguru reverses field. Shady 2 up ahead, and Nate Levy will come out to get it, dodging one of his own guys in the process. Med City can walk it up.
Rochester Athletic Club is a proud partner of Med City FC. The Rochester Athletic Club is more than a health club. The club is a space to work out, spend time with family and friends, refine your skills, and relax in our spa-like facilities. This summer, you can even hang out with Med City FC players at the rack, either through attending camps or just spending some free time with them in the neighborhood. Rochester Athletic Club, be fit, be family, be well.
Injury on the field here for VSLT doesn't last very long, but it does at least provide some much needed rest as another sub comes in. Med City has still yet to go to their bench. We'll see if that'll change anytime soon. So a substitution for VSLT, and number 18 came in. No rostered player, at least on the roster I was given, has a number 18 on it. We'll see if we can track that down. But he is in for Sakiru Kareem, who led a number of attacks here this evening for VSLT. Pazos passing it in near side, cleared away. Itapolos keeps it in. A lot of contact there as Franco Pertel tries to get it across midfield. And a big kick by Abraham Kuyata out of bounds. Looked like he had some momentum. I'm not sure why he decided to do that. Perhaps VSLT just trying to keep this thing knotted up at 0 now and saving a bit of energy perhaps as he sent that across. .5 minutes gone in this match. No score. Med City has had their chances here in this second half. Story of this match has been the officiating. 2 yellow cards on each side and a red on VSLT. So Med City's been playing with a man advantage since the 25-minute mark, but has yet to be able to capitalize on the scoreboard. They and out of bounds there. Last touch by VSLT. Won't be a true corner. It'll come in from the sideline. Pazos stays in tight, as does Repetto. And now Pazos lining one up, trying to bend it in. And nobody really there for Med City, as Caridi able to come out and catch it. And he boots it towards midfield.
We want to take a moment to thank one of our great sponsors for today's game, Subaru of Rochester. Subaru of Rochester is your place for service as well as new and quality pre-owned vehicles. Stop in today and experience the upfront pricing and stress-free buying experience that we are committed to. Subaru of Rochester, love what you drive.
So working it forward is that unnamed number 18. He's got some fresh legs. Med City ends that threat. That's about as deep as VSLT has gotten in this second half. Nate Levy has not been threatened here in half number 2. He made a couple nice stops in the first half, but not much to speak of here in half number 2 as VSLT gets closer and closer to just playing for the draw. And now another yellow card coming up against VSLT. As we'll try and figure out the number from up here. Another shot is pulled down by Alejandro Caridi. He has been busy tonight, but he's also been very sure-handed. Stopping that one and walking it out.
Yellow card issued to number 26 for VSLT, Abraham Kuyata.
VSLT playing down a man, and having played that way for the last 50 minutes, has kept things squared up at nothing. And now with a shot attempt going wide right, it was Shady 2 taking that shot on the left side. And now Med City goes to the bench for the first time.
Substitution for Med City, number 6, Iggy Mia, in for number 23, Finlay Bloodworth.
.5 minutes gone in this match. Med City has about 15 minutes and probably a little extra stoppage time with all these substitutions. We'll see how many the officials award as Med City gets ready for 2 more substitutions.
Two substitutions for Med City, number 18, Ayo Adebayo, and number 16, Javier Mia. In for number 21, Matu Pazos, and number 22, Nacho Garrido.
So as we start to lose our sunlight and rely on the fluorescent lights up high, Med City starting to see their hope of coming away with 3 points getting a little darker here too. Made 3 substitutions, bringing in some fresh legs. They need to get a goal here on the board. It is an absolute lost opportunity if they come away with a 0-0 draw here tonight, having played with a man advantage since the 25-minute mark. Trying to wear down this VSLT squad. And maybe they can force a turnover here, as finally VSLT has more of their players on the other end of the field. Obviously, they've been defensive ever since that red card at the 25-minute mark, but that's not to say Med City hasn't had their chances, and they're hoping for a couple more in whatever time we have left. Up the far side, Wilkinson trying to force it in. Up ahead, Ayo Adebayo looking for the header a little too high. Out of bounds, last touch by VSLT. Adon sends it in quick. Now Javier Mia, fresh into the game. Backs it out to Iggy Mia. Iggy over to Nicolas Itapalos. It's Shemry Wismeyer with a look from up top, but nothing doing. He's been busy tonight. He had the closest scoring chance for Med City tonight about 20 minutes ago. Trying to tip a pass in. Off balance, running in. Tipped it with his foot, and it just gently trickled to the left of the net. Otherwise, Med City would have their lead as we hit the 80-minute mark here. Send it across midfield, and Med City will be able to reset.
Fire Brick Bread Wood-Fired Pizza is a proud sponsor of Med City FC. Get our delicious pizza at the Rochester, Zumbrota, and Lake City Farmers Markets this summer. Looking for something different for your next party? We cater private events and we'll bring our oven on a trailer right to your house. Look for our full-page ad in the game day program or go to firebrickbread.com for more information. Fire Brick Bread Wood-Fired Pizza.
Adebayo near side. Keeps it in play. Repetto at midfield. Sends it over to the other side. Wilkinson tracking it down. Does stay in bounds. And Med City trying to dig here in the last 10 minutes. That one last opportunity. Centering it. Adebayo a little too strong. It went past Repetto. And I think they called a handball on Adebayo as he was jumping up for the header. He did catch his hand, and perhaps that's why you saw Repetto react the way he did. So another missed opportunity for the Mayhem. And a pass way up ahead. Nate Levy comes out and heads it instead of catching it. And walking up to it is Zahir Alabasi. Mark Boqueen tries to make a play on it, and now a sliding tackle, and really selling it is that unknown player, as a yellow card will be issued to Javier Mia. And 18 is still down on the turf, writhing in pain.
Yellow card issued to number 16 for Med City, Javier Mia. Do you want your new startup to hit the ground running with a multi-million-dollar look? Do you need help visualizing your next great idea? Fuse Digital Creative Services is the answer. Specializing in creative brand design, Fuse listens and works with you to set your company apart from the competition. Websites, print ads, brand systems, and huge wild ideas. That's Fuse, a proud sponsor of Med City Football Club.
So a free kick coming here from a pretty opportune spot for VSLT as we reach the 84-minute mark. And they send it in. Nate Levy there to catch it. And we'll see how quick he tries to send it up the field. He comes near side. And it's turned over. Adon was looking for Shembri Wismeyer. And now cleared up ahead. Adon in the area again, as is Ayo Adebayo. And now Neto gets dropped near midfield. Whistle blows, and Med City will have a free one from long distance here. They're running out of time, and it's starting to show in the body language of Med City. They need to stay upbeat here, leave everything out there. Neto Up ahead, tipped around, off the head of Claudio Repetto and out of bounds. So it'll go back to VSLT. So a goal kick coming for Alejandro Caridi. Sends it towards midfield. A little too strong. And Paulos sends it forward for Med City. Now over here on the left side, it's Adan again. Tipped out of bounds by Gordillo. Paulos backing it out to Mia. Iggy Mia, both Mia boys out on the field right now. As Wilkinson can't send it back. Now Raisler will get called for the push from behind. A lot of flopping out there now, and that's what you worry about too when there are this many whistles. Players start to play the officials more than they do the ball. And I think that's what we're starting to see. "87 minutes gone in this match. No score. A bunch of cards on each side. As Nate Levy corrals it. Sending it up the far side, Nicholas Raisler dribbling towards the middle. Med City trying to spread out. And find another opportunity here late. Paulos up ahead to Chembly Wismeyer. He has it taken away for a moment. And now Zaraguru nearly gives it away. And VSLT deep in their own territory will inbound near side. Paulos keeps it in. Tipped forward by Adan and then cleared nicely by a member of VSLT. 88.5 minutes now. I would expect at least 4 minutes or so of stoppage time. Paulos again looking ahead and again having a pass picked off.
Don't rush off after the game. Hang around and meet the team. Med City FC players will be signing autographs after the game, so be sure to get your programs or gear signed. And after the autograph session, come hang out with the team at Grand Rounds.
Getting close to stoppage time here as Nate Levy brings it back in bounds. Sends it forward. No one has left yet. I'm guessing a lot of the people in these stands have been watching World Cup action, and it seems like half the goals scored in this tournament so far have come in stoppage time, so maybe more of the same will play out tonight here in Rochester. For the Med City faithful, they certainly hope that ends up being the case. They played with a one-man advantage since the 25-minute mark. But so far, VSLT has had solid defense and a little bit of luck. As we enter into stoppage time. And Med City getting a little frustrated now. I think that was Neto on the far side. Feeling as though he was interfered with. No call was made. And now VSLT can inbound. Yeah, Med City needs to work quick here and pass it back to Levy. VSLT will drop everybody back. They will gladly walk away with a draw here tonight, especially playing a man down for as long as they did. As it sits, they're number 2 in the standings. As Repetto, the header, a little too strong. Boy, that was a nice pass. Would have been an amazing goal had Repetto been able to put it away. But kind of the story of the night for Med City. They've had a number of close calls and nothing to show for it just yet. One more substitution here for VSLT. Doing everything they can to milk the clock. And it's another guy who is not listed on the roster. I can tell you Abraham Kuyata is coming out. I don't have a number 7 on my roster. Oh yeah, I do. There we go. Elder Barrientos coming in.
Substitution for VSLT, number 7, Elder Barrientos, in for number 26, Abraham Kuyata.
Med City with the goal kick, and you can see the urgency right now for the Mayhem, trying to work it ahead quickly. Sending it all the way down the field. And a nice play there by Gordillo. Heading it away. Paulos. Big charge, sending it forward. Repetto chasing it down. Repetto, left side, tries to center it for Ayo Adebayo. And he'll get another chance. Repetto on the left side against 2 defenders. Backs it out. Javier Mia. Sent it forward with his left foot, and now dribbling it in is Nicholas Raisler. But again, that VSLT defense awfully stout. There to challenge and clear it out for the moment. Paulos. Reversing it. Igimia. With another bomb to the far side. And kept in by Med City. Oh, maybe not. Now a late whistle. And Repetto is furious. Looking at that far side official. A delayed call. And now VSLT continuing to take their sweet time here in stoppage time. We never got word how many minutes. We're almost 5 minutes into stoppage time, and I would assume that's about how much we were given. So maybe time for one more push here for Med City. Touched out of bounds. Adebayo wants to pass it in quick. Gives way to Francisco Neto. Neto going to try and launch it in as far as he possibly can. Comes up onto the right wing. It's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by VSLT, and so a corner coming up here for Med City. This may be the last chance for the Mayhem. Francisco Neto gets into position. Looking for buzzer-beating heroics here. Neto sends it towards the middle. It's headed and it goes wide left. And Med City begging for a hand call, and a yellow card I think will be assessed to Iggy Mia. It's not going to mean a whole heck of a lot at this point. And the officials blow the whistle, and this one will end in a 0-0 draw. A missed opportunity for Med City, coming away with only 1 point. We'll take a break and we'll have a post-game interview with head coach Neil Cassidy. But again, your final score here from Rochester Regional Stadium: Med City 0, VSLT 0. All right, well, welcome back to the booth here following our 0-0 draw between VSLT and Med City. I'm joined now by head coach Neil Cassidy. And coach, just give me your initial thoughts from the match tonight.
I think it was a frustrating one for us. I think from the start to the end, we knew it was going to be a chippy game, so we knew that was going to happen, and I think we were prepared for that. And for the most part, I think we did well with that. But I think there was a lot of frustration because I think we're one of the best teams in the league, but we're just not quite getting the results.
Well, and you played with a one-man advantage from the 25-minute mark on, and so it's frustrating when you can't get one in the back of the net with that one-man advantage. Do you feel like the temperament of the team changed a little bit with that, or did that affect the strategy at all when that red card was issued?
We talked about it at half-time and how to take advantage of the space that we thought was available. However, they switched their tactics in the second half to take back the space. So then we looked at it again and then switched ours up again to see if we could take advantage of it. And we did at times. I think we should have been a little bit more direct.
Well, mathematically speaking, there's 3 matches left in the season. Maybe if you run the table, you get 3 points in all 3 of those matches. I know that's looking ahead a lot, but what is the message to the team after tonight's tie?
We just keep going forward. I mean, I was proud of their effort. I think everybody that was on the field put in 100% effort, so I was really proud of that. And I was proud of the guys and on the bench as well for kind of keeping the spirits up. So I thought that was fantastic. You know what? We just finished where we finished, as high as we can, and I expect nothing less than 9 points for the next 3 games.
Sounds good, Coach. Well, thank you very much for joining me. Again, your final score here tonight, VSLT 0, Med City 0. They have one more home game, June 30th. Be sure to come out and join us for that. That's a Saturday night at 7 o'clock. For the Med City Football Club staff, thank you for joining us, and have a good evening.